Corvette. As you can see, I'm fully loaded up on E85, and yes, that is strapped in with the seatbelt. So that gas can, I don't want to flip over, so I did strap it in. And the other gas can is wedged between the seat and my backpack, so we should be good to go. I've got 10 gallons of E85 with me. Not sure how much the dyno is going to use, but you know, I made that trip to go get all that fuel, so this is what they're going to use. But beyond that, I don't have any check engine lights. The car's been on idling for like 15 minutes, getting warm. So now we're just ready to head to the dyno. So let's get this show on the road. Almost to PCM, and it's probably been a 20-25 minute drive up here. Haven't had any issues, no smells, no check engine lights. Car's running just fine. Like I said in another video, the car really doesn't know it's modified. I mean, the fuel pump is wired. That hop switch isn't going to get activated until it sees 5 psi, and I've been keeping the car under 3 grand, so yeah, under 3, it's accurate. And yeah, the car's running fine. The E85 is still good. No issues there. Nothing's leaking. Yeah, I'm actually pretty happy. And you know, guys, I've been having my car dyno tuned. This is the 3rd time for the Corvette. The SS has been tuned once. So that's 4 dyno tunes I've had. This is the first time I've ever actually driven to the dyno. I've had my cars towed every time. So this is actually kind of cool. You know, actually driving it. So actually we're almost at PCM, so I'll drop the car off there. They'll have it for a few days, and then, you know, we'll report back with the dyno numbers and hopefully some dyno video. Like I said in my SS video, I'm just not sure if they're still videoing. Like, they just happen to be for the SS, and I'm just not sure. But like I said, we're at PCM, so we're good. Car's good, and like I was saying, I'm not sure about video. Dyno footage, I'll try to get it. If I can't, you know, obviously I just have the final dyno numbers. But let's see what this project puts down. Okay guys, we're back home in the shop, and I drove the Corvette home back from PCM with no issues. I didn't have any issues slowing down, coming to a stop sign. I know I kind of complained about that in an earlier video, but the tuner looked at that, took care of it, and minus the whole fuel pump, the secondary pump running the full time, I still need to work on the wiring. I'm going to get to that eventually, but when I'm not running E85, I'm planning on just unplugging it, because I'm just going to be driving the car around. It should be fine. For the regular 93 pump tune, I don't think I'm going to need the secondary pump anyway. Maybe if I was drag racing it, yes, I'll plug it back in, but for right now, I don't want to kill the pump, so I'm just going to unplug it. But let's get to the dyno numbers. As you guys can see, the max wheel horsepower for the pump gas tune on 93 was 601 horsepower at 6,400 RPM, and the torque was 584 at 4,200 RPM. So, and as you guys can see, the blue and red, actually it's going to be the blue, so that's the lower numbers. There's a torque curve. So the car's making 584 foot-pounds and 601 horsepower, 93. Then the E85 tune, the max was 646 horsepower at 6,100 RPM, and the max torque was 629. So with that smaller pulley, the only change in the car was that smaller pulley and the extra fuel pump. You know, we're making an additional 21 wheel horsepower over my previous dyno. And torque, I want to say my previous torque was I think in the 520 to 530 range, something like that. And then with the E85 tune, we're doing an additional 40 wheel horsepower and an additional, roughly another additional 40 foot-pounds of torque. So the E85 tune, compared to my previous tune with a smaller pulley, 580, so that's 60 wheel horsepower more, 61 wheel horsepower more, and torque was maybe almost 100 foot-pounds. I'll have to look back at my previous dyno graph, but yeah, I think it was in the 520 range, so almost 100 foot-pounds of torque. So actually, guys, those numbers are fitting in kind of with what I was expecting. I was expecting about 20 wheel with that pulley, and I'm gonna have to double check the torque, but I know the horsepower was 580, so now we're at 601 with 93. Then that additional 41 horsepower with the E85 tune, that's pretty crazy. And you know, these are just 1,000cc injectors. I haven't changed anything too radical besides that external fuel pump, which turns out that system actually works. I was kind of questioning if it was going to work. I still need to figure out the hob switch, like I kind of said earlier in the video, but we'll get that figured out. But that's kind of what I was expecting overall. You know, the E85, I've seen people pick up like 50 wheel, like 40 to 50 wheel on supercharged cars, so I'm kind of right in line with that. I picked up like 41 horsepower. That system, I think the fuel system can handle it. I don't think there's really much more else I really need to do. Obviously, I need to figure out the wiring for that switch to kick on, because with it running full time, it makes a racket. It makes me almost not want to drive the car. But with just the fuse pulled, it's driving just fine with just the baseline, you know, pump gas tune. So I think we got plenty of fuel for any future upgrades. I'm not sure really what else there is. I mean, I could go maybe methanol, but honestly, guys, I've read real horror stories with methanol injection and root style superchargers. Like, I know that Edelbrock, they void the warranty if you spray ethanol through it, so I'm not sure if that's a future direction I'm going to go. I know a lot of the LT4 guys, I've seen a few guys that are on YouTube spraying methanol, but I'm just not sure with the methanol and if that's going to strip the rotors. So I've actually seen pictures of people with stripped rotors that ran methanol through, methanol, whatever you want to call it, through their root style supercharger. So just not sure what direction we would go in the future. I know one thing I could pick up a lot: the camshaft. That LS9 cam is real terrible. That is a ton of work, and until something messes up in the motor, honestly, guys, I just don't think it's worth pulling the car apart, because for a cam swap in a Corvette, it's crazy. Like radiator, intercooler, AC condenser, steering rack, everything else has to come apart. It's a ton of work for a cam. But honestly, guys, if you guys are watching this and are thinking about going with a cam, I repeat, I do not recommend the LS9 cam with an E4 supercharger or any kind of root style supercharger. Yes, they're a great deal, but they just don't make any power. Yes, they make some power, but when you're NA, it just shifts the power band up. With me being supercharged for roughly 2 years with a supercharger now, I think I could be making almost 700 wheel if I had a different cam in the car. I've got the fuel system for it, the valve springs I've got for it, push rods I'd have to upgrade, but that. So if I really wanted to go crazy on the car, I mean, there's not much left in the motor that I could do. I would say aftermarket cam, upgraded push rods, possibly even upgraded valve springs, even though I'm running the comp cams beehives. Methanol injection, that would be kind of, you know, that one's iffy, but I think the fuel system I've got. But I don't know, like I was saying about tearing apart that cam, I just don't think it's something that I would actually do again, because like when I tore the car apart, like 3-4 years ago now. It just, the car was down for 3 months, and that was me working on it, like maybe not every night, but a lot of nights, and it's just a ton of work. So, but overall, guys, I'm super happy with the dyno results that we got. You know, I'm mid 600s, like finally, like 580. I was like, you know, people say like, what's the car make? I'm like, oh, 580. They're like, eh. So with almost 650 to the wheel, I mean, that's more than what a current Z06 is making, but I don't think I'm quite into that 755 crank horsepower that the new ZR1, the C7 ZR1 that they just debuted. I'm not in that territory yet. I would have to be probably another, actually I'm close, but I don't think I'm not at 755. I'm probably like 740, something like that at the crank. So, but hey, goals, right? But for me to go for that goal, I have to upgrade the drivetrain, the rear diff. That thing's a ticking time bomb. Diff brakes, clutch, all that stuff. All those things would have to be upgraded for me to go the next level. But I got the setup done for now. Overall, guys, I'm more than happy with the 600, almost 650 wheel horsepower. You know, I was at that 580 plateau for a long time. I could have just done the 3-inch pulley and been fine with 600, but I was like, I wanted a race fuel, and the ethanol, the E85 worked pretty well for my setup. For now, I'm just going to drive the car and enjoy it. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this journey. I know it's been kind of long with the suspension, the fuel system, the E85 sensor, the fuel lines, the pulley, the idler pulley, and all that. You know, it's been kind of long, but I hope you guys enjoyed the build series so far. We're not completely done. We got one more round of mods for the car before we're done. I think there might be something coming up soon, but as you guys can see behind me, there's a blue hood on the ground. You were kind of wondering, well, why is that there? I know in the chassis dyno video, you guys saw the red ZR1 hood on the car, and you might be wondering what that's about. I'm not sure in the video rotation where we are if the ZR1 hood install is going to be before or after this video. I'm just not sure. But also kind of another spoiler, the Corvette's not here. It's at paint. I dropped the hood and car off on Monday, and we should be getting that back soon. I hope it's done tomorrow, but may have to wait until next week. We'll see. Anyway, I've been rambling way too long, so I'm going to end the video here. I hope you guys liked the video. If you did, give it a big thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do. Thanks and have a great day.